Meet the Moment is sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need.
Welcome back. Emma Grede is a founder, entrepreneur, podcast host, Shark Tank judge, and CEO. Grede grew up with a single mom in a tough neighborhood in East London and became the driving force behind powerhouse brands SKIMS and Good American, where she partnered with members of the Kardashian family. Now, the mother of 4 adds another title to that long list, author of the new book, Start With Yourself, a new vision for work and life. I sat down with Grede for a Meet the Moment conversation about life, motherhood, and what it means to have it all. You reflect on what it has been like to you to often be the only Black woman in a professional setting. How did you turn what was a difference for you into a strength in the professional world?
Well, in a way, I took it as something that would be to my advantage. You know, I was like, well, at least they'll see me. I think we all know the systemic barriers that are there. We all know the systems that are in place that keep us small, that keep us out of conversations, that limit us. And you can make a choice to actually tune that out and do things differently, to lean into what your strengths are. And that's what I've done. I've really tuned out the noise and I've created a lane for myself.
Your businesses are very focused on empowering women in different ways, whether it is SKIMS, whether it is your jean brand that you have.
Good old Good American.
Yes. And part of what it seems like the goal of your brands is to help women to feel empowered in their confidence, in their bodies. Talk about that part of your vision and why it was so important for you to make that a part of what you produce.
Well, you know, that was really a learning that I got from my early days in agency and consultancy land. If you go back 10 years ago to when we actually started Good American, there were no brands looking at the full spectrum of women and women's sizes. And it really speaks to who's in charge. It speaks to who makes the decisions. And so I thought putting a female point of view into a company where we could actually say, you know what, we're just going to make all the sizes all the time. And you can make the decision if that style is right for you, if you think that this is something, a trend that you want to jump onto. And it turns out that I was absolutely right. And women came in their droves. If you have served a customer when she is at the larger end of the size spectrum, she is going to be loyal to you and still shop your brand if she changes sizes. So we've definitely seen this brand continue to thrive and grow. And to me, it's one of the proudest points in my career that we really started a movement in fashion. You take it for granted now that you see clothes on plus size mannequins or even, you know, when you can go on to e-com and change the sizes, but it was Good American that started that. You know, when we started that company, we said we wanted to make all women feel seen, heard and represented. I had no idea that we were going to change the way the industry would depict women.
I want to talk about another aspect of your life that I know you're incredibly proud of, which is motherhood. And on that point, we do have something in common. You have 4 kids,
yes,
which I am in awe of. 2 of them with the help of a surrogate. And I also welcomed my 2 children with the help of a surrogate. And we talk about honesty, you're incredibly honest in this book. You talk about that you experienced miscarriages, many rounds of IVF treatments, heartache, before you did have a successful surrogacy. And this quote from your book stood out to me. You say, "It is devastating not to feel like you have reproductive agency." Tell me about why you wanted to talk about the very painful experience of infertility and then the joy of welcoming 2 children via surrogate.
So to me, it was really important because it's the reality of most of our lives if we choose to have children, and I completely respect that that's not every woman's choice. But for so many of us, there's this conversation of when to have children. I am certainly not going to sit here and advocate for teenage pregnancy, but also waiting until you're 38, 39 probably isn't a good choice either, because there is a reality around fertility and a window for that for women. And so if we continually put that off, we do ourselves a disservice. And so the reason I decided to write about it in the book is because for me, that was an enormous privilege that I could, go through IVF. It's incredibly expensive and unobtainable for so many. But then when you talk about surrogacy, even more so. And so it's a privilege of the few. And I think that what I've seen, certainly you have to imagine, I have hundreds and hundreds of women that work in these companies, and I see heartbreak over and over and over again, because either they've waited too long, much like myself, and it's not their choice, or that we've fed them, this idea that you can freeze your eggs and everything will be fine, and then by the time you're thinking about it, it's too late. So to me, it's a part of the work conversation, and one that we need to have more freely.
And it speaks to this fundamental question, this age-old question.
The age-old question.
Can women have it all?
I feel like Oprah had it right, when she said you can have it all, but not at the same time. If it's really, really important to you to have children, then you need to make that a priority. It just means that you're going to have to really plan that and think about it and decide what type of parent you want to be, importantly. Because to me, I don't think parenting has got so much harder. I think the expectations around parenting have gone a little bit crazy.
Well, and you're very honest about how you view parenting. You call yourself a 3-hour max mom. That raised a lot of eyebrows, as you know. What did you mean by that, a 3-hour maximum?
Well, what I meant by it was exactly what I said, and I really don't want to backpedal. We're setting women up for a failure, and we're holding women to impossible standards. So what I meant when I said I was a 3-hour mum is that I probably spend like 3 hours with my kids doing the things that they want to do, entertaining them, being down on the floor and playing with them. Then I have other things to do. And that's just the truth. It's just a reality. And I think a lot of parents feel exactly the same, that you're depleted after a week at work. And actually, you only have a couple of hours. But isn't that good enough? I think it is.
What do you say to the moms, to the parents who hear that and say, wait a minute, I'm with my kids all day long, or I spend hours with them on the weekend? Any regrets about making that comment?
No regrets. I'm like, have at 'em. The important thing is that you live up to your standard, to your vision. Do I miss a few school drop-offs? Absolutely, yes I do. Am I the one making lunches for my kids every day? No, I'm not, because something has to give. And the reality is that everybody knows that. Nobody wants to say it. And by virtue of us not saying it, we are keeping women small.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.